Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Bluesroom. We're live at Fleetwood's, and we're honored tonight. Our guest is harpist extraordinaire Carey Bell. Carey, welcome to Fleetwood's.
I want to thank you very much.
You learned your craft from the maestros of blues, Sonny Boy Williamson, Little Walter Jacobs, Big Walter Horton. You were also handpicked to play in bands with Muddy Waters and Willie Dixon's band. How did that feel when you were young?
How it felt? Felt good. There was great guys to work with, you know. But actually, I didn't learn from Sonny Boy and them. I learned on my own playing Western country. But after from Mississippi to Chicago, then I met Little Walter and all those guys. Little Walter and them guys showed me a few tricks and different stuff. But I was playing when I was in Mississippi.
Deep Down is the title of your new CD on Alligator. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what went into making it?
Really wasn't no big thing when we was on this singer for 2 or 3 years. But it was me didn't ever get it together. We rehearsal, that's it. We're gonna do it. And before we did, I was in Europe on time to come up to do it. I just actually took off time to do this. This thing been going on for like 3 years to do a single CD with Alligator.
You worked on a project that won a W.C. Handy Award with Junior Wells, James Cotton, and Billy Branch called Harp Attack, and did a couple of tunes, Hitman and Secondhand Man, that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Those are great songs, man. You want to tell us a little bit about them?
Well, Hitman, I went in the studio and made them up in the studio. I came from Europe. The day I came from Europe, I can't think of what day. And the next day I went in the studio, and I made those songs up.
Who do you listen to when you're relaxing at home? What blues musicians?
Well, I listen to everybody now. I take me a whole month to tell you who I all listen at. For his harp player, I listen to Kim Wilson, William Clark, Rod Piazza, Charlie Musselwhite, you name them. I just listen at them.
When I think of the late 1960s, you were kicking around playing with John Lee Hooker.
Yeah.
Guys like Paul Butterfield exposed the blues to the white hippie audience, and Rod Piazza, as a matter of fact, was in a band called the Dirty Blues Band, and he was doing some stuff, Sonny Boy stuff back then. When you were playing with John Lee Hooker back in the 60s, were you very impressed with the blues scene back then as compared to now in 1995?
Oh, yeah. I've been impressed all the time. But with John Lee, I definitely was impressed because I was playing bass with him, not harp.
You were involved in a project for Alligator called Living Chicago Blues, which, was really a great turnaround for all the great bluesmen and women who are still around. And, you're preserving the art of blues music. How did you get involved with that project for Alligator Records?
Well, see, I know Bruce before he had a record company. He used to work for Delmark. In fact, I know him way long before he had a record company. Also, he had this Living Blues, this magazine. That was his magazine company before it was Jim O'Neill's and all that stuff.
Now, Delmark.
That's how I got involved because I had an album out on Delmark. And I used to go to Delmark and try to borrow money, but didn't have no luck. Me and Bruce used to hang out together quite a bit.
Delmark just put out this Heartache and Pain.
Right.
And there's a tune on here called Black Eyed Peas, which is really bad, man. It's like you think of James Brown when it starts off.
Huh?
You think of James Brown, the funk riffs that go with it.
I never heard it. It is.
Black Eyed Peas.
Huh. I got to listen to that again. I got to listen to it.
You're listening to the Bluesroom live at Fleetwood's. Our guest is Carey Bell. How do you like the club here at Fleetwood's?
Great. I've been here about 30 times, I think it is. Great.
What's ahead for Carey Bell as far as future projects?
Doing another CD. Uh, Going back to Europe, and I got a lot of stuff in mind that I'm gonna try to do.
You managed to incorporate the sounds of the old players, but still maintain a sound all your own. How do you do that?
How I do that? Well, I had to work on that. I found out I couldn't make no money imitating a lot of people. I had to work on me a sound, get me a different style.
Your talent, your talent is not only reserved for the stage. You also co-produced, I think, the second release on Alligator Records with Walter Horton back in 1972. How'd you get into production?
Well, Bruce told me that Walter didn't want to do it, and it took me a good while to convince him to do the album. That's how I got into that.
What is your assessment of the blues scene here in 1995? Where do you think blues are headed?
Up. I think it's coming up. In '95, I think it'll be way up, better than it ever been.
When you played with Willie Dixon's band, the Chicago All-Stars, how was that like? Can you reminisce and think back about that time?
Oh yeah, we used to have a good time, man. All we did was travel. And what I mean by have a good time, we used to cook in the hotel. I had a Hoover electric skillet. I'd be cooking pork chops and potatoes in the hotel till we got caught a couple of times. And the manager, the one time we got caught, the manager sat down and had dinner with us. Oh, we had great fun up until he retired.
Thinking back to the Living Chicago Blues project that you did, you covered a tune, Laundromat Blues. I think the late, great Albert King also did that tune.
Right.
Why'd you pick that song?
Well, I liked that song, and I changed it. Well, I wanted to do it my way, and I was using the chromatic, and I just like to do that song. In fact, I like to do a whole lot of Albert King songs, but my voice don't fit that. I have to pick the song that I think I can sing.
What kind of harmonica do you play? What's your favorite?
Marine band. And I got a 64 chromatic.
Again, as we think back, who were some of your major influences when you were growing up?
Oh, Sonny Boy, Little Walter, Big Walter. Them about the three ones when I really dug on harp, because they had a whole totally different style than anybody that I ever heard. But now you got all kind of harp players, all kind of styles today, and that's great too.
You're listening to the Bluesroom live at Fleetwood's. Our guest is harpist extraordinaire Carey Bell. And Carey, you're playing tonight at Fleetwood's. What can we expect when you take the stage?
Blues, strictly blues. And I don't know, we got some little swing number we pull off sometime. Sometimes my guitar player want to make me do everything swing. I had to, wait a minute, I'm getting old now, you know. I got to cool him down, so. Steve Jacobs, that's my guitar player.
You also write tunes. What goes through your head when you're composing a blues tune here in the 1990s?
Well, I always write about my woman. And if I ain't writing about my woman, I'd be writing about my guitar player. Thinking about it.
Going back to the brand new CD, which is out on Alligator, called Deep Down, do you have a favorite track on it?
Yeah, Low Down Dirty Shame.
Why don't we play that and come back and talk some more?
Okay.
Low down dirty, dirty shame.
You're listening to the Bluesroom live at Fleetwood's. Our guest is Carey Bell, and Carey is playing tonight at Fleetwood's with his band. Carey, you want to name the members in your group?
Yeah, I got one special little guy, play guitar. His name's Steve Jacobs. And on bass, Brian McGregor, right now, I hope. And he here. And Tom, he's a new member in the band. Tom Parker, the drummer. He's a new member, great drummer.
And John Fralin is playing piano, right?
Yeah, in fact, dude, I just met him. Never. I hope he do good. If he say he can play, I believe him. But I'll find out.
What's the scene like in Chicago right now? Is it growing more and more?
Well, right now I haven't been to Chicago almost a year. I live in California now, so my kids still in Chicago playing. It's going strong for as I can hear. I haven't been in Chicago quite a while.
When you think of Willie Dixon, you think of all the tunes that he's written over the years. I mean, he really sustained the blues as far as a writer. Is there a favorite tune of his that comes to mind when you think of Willie?
Oh yeah, I do some of Willie's stuff. In fact, he wrote me a song. One day you're gonna get lucky. Wow, he wrote more songs than that for me. In fact, I recorded One Day You're Gonna Get Lucky. I think it's on some of these CDs you got. It might be on. Might be on that. I'm not. Yeah. All right.
Why don't you pick another tune on here, like "Stop That Train, Conductor"? That was a great tune.
Yeah. Well, only thing about this CD, I haven't heard too much of this CD. Maybe 2 times since it's been out. I don't even have the CD.
Your son plays guitar on it?
Yeah. That's 16 years ago. I think. Is his name on there? Yeah. Okay. That's been 16 years ago or longer since I did that, and they just released it.
You're listening to the Bluesroom live at Fleetwood's. Our guest tonight is Carey Bell. Carey, you and Junior Wells and James Cotton are still kicking around making great music. Do you guys still get together?
Not lately. Not lately. I haven't saw them since. Well, I saw Cotton last year on the fest. Was on the fest. I haven't seen Junior in a good while. Billy Branch, I haven't seen him since we did Harp Attack. But all of them still playing.
We were talking about the mid-'60s, and of course it was the British musicians who really resurrected the blues. John Mayall comes to mind, over in England.
Yeah.
And of course Mick Fleetwood. And that's why he has this club here today in Washington, D.C., because of his love for the blues.
Yeah, yeah.
And we mentioned Paul Butterfield, who exposed the blues, to the white audience. And you said you were into, like, Kim Wilson, one of the new guys from
Yeah, right.
Thunderbirds, and Rod Piazza. How about Charlie Musselwhite?
Well, me and him were real good friends. We used to take lessons from me and Big Walter years ago. We used to play in Jewtown in Chicago every Sunday. We drank a lot of whiskey and played a lot of harp. We had a great time.
And he's still recording.
He still records. He on Alligator now.
Again, any future TV projects or anything coming up you want to talk about?
Well, not as I know, sir. Not as I know, sir. I hope something like that do come up.
Carey, thank you very much for joining us live tonight in the Blues Room at Fleetwood's.
You're welcome.
And go break a leg.
I'm going to try.
Thank you. Could you do a real quick drop for us? I wrote it all out. This is great. You did great, man.
This is hard for me to do.
This is what you say, I'll tell you. Hello, this is Carey
Oh,
Bell.
yeah.
You're listening to the Blues Room live at Fleetwood's.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carey Bell. You're listening to the Blues Room live at Fleetwood's.
Hello, this is Carey Bell. You're listening to Thomas Grooms in the Blues Room.
Okay. Hello, this is Carey Bell. You're listening to Tom Grooms in the Blues Room live at Fleetwood's. Over again. Hello, this is Carey Bell. You're listening to Tom Grooms in the Blues Room live at Fleetwood's.
That's excellent. Carey, I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
And anything here, like, I brought a couple of tunes. Maybe you want to introduce a couple, like be disc jockey. Like, say, hi, this is Carey Bell. We're going to play some Howlin' Wolf. Can you read the How Many More Years or Elmore James? Yeah. Make you a DJ here.
Now I was reaching for my glasses here.
Okay.
but I ain't got them. Now, what you say you want me to do with this?
You say, hi, this is Carey Bell. Right now we're going to listen to Sonny Boy Williamson, Keep It To Yourself. You know, just pick a few titles. Or, hi, this is Carey Bell. Right now we're going to listen to a guy that I worked with, John Lee Hooker. 1 bourbon, 1 scotch, 1 beer.
What about Willie Dixon?
Sure, whoever you want. Do as many as you want.
Okay.
Say them in a group, whatever you want.
Okay. Hello, this is Carey Bell. You're gonna listen to that. Willie Dixon. How many more years he wrote? Willie Dixon. Walking the Blues. Also, coming up, Buddy Guy. My Time After While. By the way, the reason I like Willie Dixon, I married his daughter, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. But, great guy. Also, Bo Diddley. Say, man, I need my glasses. Okay. Sonny Boy Williams, keep it to yourself. That's a great thing to do. Keep everything to yourself.
I know I hurt your feeling, and I'm asking you to forgive.
Did you meet Sonny Boy?
Yeah.
Rice Miller, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, he's crazy. He was crazy. I could tell you a lot of stories about Sonny Boy, but not on the radio.
That's great. We can set up a tune with that. You know, that's excellent. Carey, thank you very much.
man.
Let me give you a card here. We just changed format. We were classic rock, and now we're jazz. That's smooth jazz.
Can I tell him about my agent? I want to tell him about him.
Is it good or bad?
There's
There's another card. There's a
Okay.
Bluesroom card.
What is that phone number now? Give me your phone number, office number.
You're welcome.
I get an ink pen.
What age did you start playing harmonica?
8 years old.
8 years old.
8 years old. I wasn't playing no band. That was my first harmonica when I was 8 years old. I got it for Christmas.
Was this in Mississippi?
Yes, sir, Mississippi. And I wanted a sax though, but people couldn't afford a sax. They got me a harmonica. Well, that only didn't cost me 50 cents during that time. Oh yeah.
What else we got here? Okay.
So, I was, ladies and gentlemen, back to Carey Bell again. If you ever think about booking Carey Bell, Tough Luck Inc. Phone number 301-365-8323. That's who to call to get in touch with Carey Bell's Blues Band.
That's right. Mick Fleetwood made the call. You should too.
Yeah, Fleetwood did make the call. And my agent's name is Mark Herbert. He sits in the office all day, bent over.
Thank you, Carey. That was great, man. All right, that was real good. All right. Thank you. Could you, while I got you here, would you sign this? I'd be honored if you would.
Oh, okay.
And you don't know about this Delmar thing. I'll run all this off on a tape for you if you want.
Oh, great.
Delmar
I don't-
just released it. They just released it.
I know that.
You're getting money for it, aren't you? I hope.
Are you?
No.
Me either.
Well, that sucks. I mean, this is old
Well,
stuff.
I know.
Some of my brothers have to collect.
Eventually I will. I got my own publishing company now. Eventually I will start getting money.
Right. Could you do it to Thomas? Thomas.
Oh man, he asked for cheese. I said, I didn't ask. Don't put it on there. Picked you up twice now. All right, man, I'll give you the video from End of the show.
I've been doing the radio thing here for about 24 years. Here
Oh, yeah?
in this town.
Then it
Yeah.
goes to the
We do this one too. You know all these? I'll run this off on you so you have it for posterity. Send it to the address.
Okay. You know that, John?
Yeah. This is
Could
my
you make a
man.
copy for him too?
This guy
We'll
right
make
here.
one for posterity and one for Carey Bell.
Yeah.
Who's posterity?
Oh, Frank Carey.
Shit.
Posterity Johnson.
Yeah. Old laptop player, wasn't he? Yeah, I remember.
Scottish tree Scotty.
See this? That's what I tell you.
Try it.
I got 3 royalty checks covered from this.
From that one.
From this one, because I missed 3 years.
There's 4
Is it-
CDs to this, man. You
Yeah.
know that. There's
I
4.
I know.
I got them all.
Do you really?
Do you got them
The
all?
whole fucking Bluesroom.
Yeah, that's right. Got all that shit, didn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, it's nice. That ad and paper.
It's the only company I ever got royalties from.
Really? Alligator? That's cool. Thank you, Carey.
Royalty time right now.
Well, I got you with the pen. I was a do hard stuff. Dude, I love that.
I make good
love
money
it.
out of this one.
I love
Great.
this.
Yeah, red good. I remember I just greased through it. I can go ahead and take this thing off as a run.
Guys, here's a good question. When you're in the studio with cats like Jimmy Cotton and Junior Wells and Billy Branch, how do you guys manage to excel on your own? You know, how can you be individual harp players?
Now, pardon me, what you said now?
When you're in a studio with such great harp players like Jimmy Cotton, Junior Wells, and Billy Branch, how do you manage to do your thing and still be unique and stand out, jump out on the recording?
Well, I just only forget about them, think about what I'm gonna do, and go ahead and do my thing. That's why I do that.
Man, you sure did on this Harp Attack.
Uh,
Who thought of the name Harp Attack?
Bruce did. Yeah, we're talking about doing number 2.
Really? So that's a future project.
Yeah, we're talking about doing a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'll be the one to pick them.
Good. Well, good luck to you, Carey.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you say your party's jumping, everybody's having a good time. I know you know what's going